I told you, man.
Yeah, it does. Well, I hope you enjoyed that last hour. That was really fun.
That was a great live stream, guys.
Yeah,
thank you very much for joining in.
We're about to finish up now.
Sorry for the delay. YouTube has had a lot of reportages of downed issues. I tried uploading a video in the middle to inform you guys what was going on. The upload immediately failed. We weren't the only channel that was reporting issues. I tried it on my phone. I tried it on his phone. Well, on Wi-Fi, off Wi-Fi, re-downloaded the app. We tried from a computer, tried from both of our accounts. YouTube just decided for a while that nobody was going to do anything.
Yeah, it wouldn't let me even go back onto mine to go live again. It said error creating live stream. So it's not like we weren't trying. We probably tried 150 times each. So we are back.
But yeah, it was just a little more delayed than we anticipated.
So your camera's a little different than what we had before.
Yeah, it works.
Good enough. Oh, yeah, I got it. Shit. Intermission.
First swear jar of the video on my channel still goes to you.
Oops. Well, that was frustrating. That was very frustrating.
If any of you guys could share around, anyone else you know that follows. I know the delay was really, really long. We said we'd be back in 5 minutes, and it's almost an hour later. So if you guys want to let people know that we're live on the channel, let them know.
Yeah, we'll give them a little bit here. So my glasses are all dirty now. I can't see that thing. And I'm going to be one reading the questions. So to make it easier on me, any questions that you ask, please do them all in caps, because then they will really stand out. And then when you guys are chatting amongst each other, just use regular.
There are also moderators in the chat. Chris from Carter's Garage is here as a moderator. I believe Mom is on the Bust Grease Monkey channel one. They will answer questions if they can in the comments. Also, if you're screwing around in the comments and doing stuff that doesn't belong there, they have the power to remove comments or remove you from the chat tonight. So try to keep it.
And a special thanks to Chris Carter, because he tried to go live on his channel too, and it didn't work for him either. It gave him the same error creating live stream.
Yeah, so. He's quite a way away from us, so we were wondering if it was just an issue locally here, and he's still having it.
But we're back up now. That's cool. Tyler, I've been digging Knobs Creek lately. You were asking about whiskey. This is clearly Tyler's channel.
I got one of the first comments. Someone was complaining that both of the whiskeys I laid out were bourbons. But yes.
Yeah, and again, the 5 minutes. Sorry that it took almost an hour. That's 50 minutes. Wasn't our fault.
We tried. YouTube just didn't want us to. Someone said my cough gave YouTube a virus.
Is double clutching necessary when driving Lenny?
Yes.
I mean, you can float the gears on it, but it just takes longer, and I'd rather shift through the gears faster.
I don't know. I tried floating gears in your bus once, and that's one of the few vehicles that I've had as many issues as I did.
I can do it. Yeah,
it's hard.
Yeah, and I mean, I can just boom right into the next, but I actually don't like the way it feels on the transmission when I do it either. But
it also doesn't help. I'm used to floating gears with something that's directly linked to a transmission, not with 35 foot of shift linkage.
Hey, Tyler, you got a...
Oh, William Oswald, $10 for the swear jar. We will need it. Thank you. We needed it over the last hour. The last 50 minutes of us sitting here trying to figure out what's going on with it definitely wasn't the best.
I'm just looking for posts that are in all capital letters for me to read the question. So if you're not typing in capital letters for your question, I'm going to probably skip it because it's really, I got old man eyes, so it's hard. This guy, Jeffrey's asking, how's Lenny doing after a slight freeze on your way home? And we did answer that in the first part of the chat, but he's doing good.
As far as we know, there's no issues. The entire bus is plumbed with PEX. PEX can expand greater than the volume that water expands when it freezes before it has an issue. If you've never plumbed with that stuff, PEX is amazing to use. I love using it.
And this person is asking, when is the Arizona trip? Which that'll just be me and Kelly going on that one, and that'll be after Christmas. Now, it was supposed to be before, but it's going to be after Christmas now. He's got another super chat. Brian, I'll let you read it.
Congrats on the super chats. Thank you. I actually just got him set up today. So, William Oswald, you're officially the first super chat ever for my channel.
And Brian is number 2.
Yeah, Brian, you're number 2. If you guys ever meet me, I'll sign something and tell you that. Just remind me.
Two Feathers asks, what mods do you want to do to your silver side?
You? Me? What?
Yeah, like what mods do I want to do? I've got a whole list. It's about $40,000 worth of stuff, and it's something I'm going to do a video specifically on all that stuff. But upcoming things is going to be the power steering is my next big thing on there. I just saw another. You got a sticker, Tyler.
Oh,
From G-Class. First bump. That is your first super sticker.
that is my first sticker too.
Oh man, the super chats are going to throw me off of my ability to read these in question or in order.
How? I made it through.
Scott, please give us a picture of Phil back in the day in his uniform cap with an nice old bus. Phil has his new YouTube channel. He's got, I think his actual profile picture is him with a bus. A few years younger. It's not super back in the day, but bus old man Phil. So bus and then old and then man and Phil. So all those words and you'll be able to find them. I'll set space. I'll put a space between them all, and you'll find his new YouTube channel. And he's got like 3 or 4 videos up there already. This guy just says, "What up?" It's capital letters, so it must be a question for you.
Oh, if you see anyone, I think Shadow is Dalen's in there. He said he just wanted to make movie references in the comments the entire time. I told him he's fine. We just got another sticker I saw from Brian. Thank you.
Those are I didn't even know those existed before tonight. Do silver sides only come with 6-cylinder engines?
Yes.
Yes. There were other GM buses in that same year though that were made with like 471.
Also, if you guys are just joining, please post your questions in all caps. It makes it stand out a lot easier for us to read when we're going through the comments.
And the delay, you can tell them about the delay while I'm reading.
Oh, yes. There's also a bit of a delay. And if you don't answer your question, please don't keep posting it. We're working through them as we get the questions. We will get to them. We'll get through as many as we can in the chat. If we don't answer your question, you can always try to drop it in any of the videos. I don't have near the comment section as Dad, so I do usually answer all my comments. No matter what, I read every comment on all my videos.
Somebody said that Phil signed in just as I shut down the live stream on my channel, so I didn't see that.
Yeah, we were a little ways off on his for catching up on the.
And the delay in this broadcast was not ours. YouTube was down. We couldn't log in.
Yeah, we had an issue. We tried to log in for the entire time that we were down. There were a lot of reports of downs with YouTube. I actually have a video I might upload right now explaining that, and it's a short minute for a video, but YouTube was not allowing any uploads.
You just
William Oswald, right? Yes. Thanks, Tyler. $2.
Did I get any footage of the MC6 across the street from Busboys? That was not an MC6. That was an MC7. And no, I didn't really get any footage of it.
Did you get the VL100?
No. I know. Mom kept saying it was so cold out there. I couldn't do it.
I got frostbite riding wheelies up the street on a 4-wheeler the other night. Like, I wouldn't get frostbite to look at a VL100.
This person says you ought to let Tyler show you computers so you can work on DDEC. I don't want to work on DDEX,
So my last job, not my last job, my second to last job, I'm a Ford Master Electrical Technician. Oh, great. People are messaging me right now, and it's going to cause that.
Yeah, you had that turned off earlier.
I turned that back on because I thought that was the problem. I don't think I can change that right now without canceling the stream.
You can't.
If you guys hear my phone giving notifications, I'm sorry. One of the things I tried to do was turn off the Do Not Disturb, thinking that might have been what was causing our problem. But yeah, I used to be I've been through every single electrical class as a Ford technician. I did a lot for a while. One dealership I worked at, I was just electrical technician. That's all I did.
Yeah, I don't want to work on anything computerized. I got 2 years, maybe more, worth of clients that want me to come work on their stuff on what I'm doing. So why would I need to learn that? I just don't want to do it. Sorry. Well, just like tonight, the battle trying to log on for the live stream. Computers sometimes they suck.
Oh yeah, I'm completely inept when it comes to anything non-automotive computer related, but auto computers are pretty good with.
He said no on Junior new silver side. So I think he was asking that question about mods that you would do to a silver sides, maybe. That's what he meant.
I have some ideas. First things first, get it running, driving, reliable before I start the build out. Honestly, I'd probably lay my build out pretty much identical to the floor plan of Dad's, just different materials. His seems to work pretty well. No need to reinvent the wheel on that one.
You have a bar.
I would put a bar in my bus. I'd probably put a toolbox into the TV too.
And a gun safe.
I don't know if I need the entire save to travel with. Maybe a small one.
Trying to picture what else would be in Tyler's bachelor pad, silver sides plus.
Will a stripper pole fit in the bus?
For you?
No. Maybe. But I want to try to make as much naturally aspirated horsepower as I can out of something. So there might be some interesting engine ideas I have on how to make power. I definitely would like to try to go to Alcoa's. I love the look of aluminum wheels on them. I know it's pain and expensive, but they look cool.
This guy said, did you find somewhere to do your graphics? I'm assuming he's asking about my dogs for my bus, maybe?
Yeah,
Sure.
Still looking?
Yeah, I'm looking. Yeah, somebody printed it out. It's like 2 foot tall by like 7 foot long, I think. So as long as somebody can print vinyl, it's a couple different colors. So it's pretty simple layout. Scott, I watched the YouTube RV couple changing lanes that talked about the diesel card called TSD RV fuel program. Saves a lot on diesel fuel. Yeah, I'm not sure. I saw somebody post about that. I never know what's a scam and what's not when I see things like that. But if somebody's got maybe I'll look into that if it is. You're supposed to save, like, get a group buyer's discount when you go to truck stops and stuff like that. And it seemed like they were saving pretty good money. So, but you never know what to believe when you see that stuff. So you got another super chat there, Tyler.
Yep. From
You got 2 of them.
Todd. Your last name, man. I am not good with names.
Maybe.
Oh, maybe me.
Did one too for $1.
Did we? Yeah, we got William.
Yeah.
Thank you, maybe me, and thank you, Todd. You guys didn't post any comments, so if you guys post something, I see your name, I'll make sure I shout it out again. Someone says I need to name it the Keg Party Bus. I think it's already been decided. My bus is going to be named Brutus.
I like that name. That was, you can tell them a story about that.
That was going to be the name of a bus I went to look at before that I didn't know was possibly going to be my bus, and then we ended up passing up on that deal.
The 471 GMC video with 1 million views. What did that guy do with that truck? As far as I know, it's still for sale. I think he was asking like $4,000 for it, which is, I mean, he paid me almost $1,000 to work on it, so I think it's worth it. Just needed a new clutch in it.
We can come up with a clutch in it for you too.
And it needed some new tires. So.
I don't do tires. I don't do tires at all.
Ooh. Sorry.
Scroll back.
Can you help me with what kind of rear end is in a 1981 Silver Eagle and where to get a ring and pinion?
I don't know off the top of my head. Usually those things are labeled on the differential what they are. There's usually an info tag on them.
I think there's actually a few different options too. What's the place? Goodson's. They usually have a lot of Eagle stuff like that. I would try Luke at US Coach probably first, but that's probably a stock thing. You can probably find it cheaper than you could from Goodson's, but if you're in a hurry and you want it, that'd probably be the go-to place where I would call first.
I mean, it also doesn't hurt if it's broken and can't move, pull it apart and find out what it is.
And a lot of times,
part numbers on the ring and pinion stamped into them.
And a lot of times, if you think you have a rear end problem on an Eagle, it could be the drop box because that fails more often than the rear ends do. A lot of the same similar symptoms. Again, if it's questions, do them in all caps because that's what I'm looking for. I'm not even reading things that aren't in all caps. This guy says the D-decks are not hard, plus they're still 2 strokes. Yeah, I know, but if an engine won't run because of some stupid little sensor somewhere, I don't even want to deal with that crap.
I had a customer one time that wired a sensor backwards on the VREF, took out the VREF circuit on the vehicle and bricked it because they put 2 wires backwards. Took a couple of days on and off of working on that thing on the side to figure it out. It wasn't very fun.
Name it the Keg Party Bus. Did you already say that earlier?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if it'd be a keg. Whiskey barrel, though. Yeah, we put whiskey barrel on the bus. Actually, you know what? Maybe that's what the passenger seat should be.
If you if you type your question that's not in all caps, you should probably retype it because otherwise I'm not going to see it. Tyler, you can install a kegerator in your bus?
Possibly. If I find a good deal on one. I'm cheap. So if it's not, really priced, I have other things that I need to spend the money on. Find a good deal on one, though. I mean, I'm not opposed to putting one in there.
Tyler, what's the worst repair you've ever done?
Ask me in a couple of weeks. I might have transmission work to do on a Mercedes soon on a 7-speed.
Oh, my daughter's Mercedes.
The timing cover on that wasn't fun, but I don't know.
Tell-
Nothing is really that bad. Just you gotta take your time and know what you're doing.
Tell the story about when you're working at Martin's and the lady came in with a new O2 sensor because she had the code red over at AutoZone.
Oh God. Okay. So this was a Dodge Durango, the 5.7 Hemi. Customer said it needed an O2 sensor. It had an O2 code. AutoZone red. They brought it to us. I drove it in and it's clearly down a cylinder, and straight mosquito fogger out of the exhaust. Like you couldn't see the parking lot when I pulled it into my bay, and just dead hole.
But she brought the part to fix it.
Oh yeah, she brought the O2 sensor because that's what AutoZone said it needed. So I'm like, this isn't right. So I hook up the scan tool. I see what cylinder I got the misfire coming out of. Go to that cylinder. I have a coil unplug tester to set on top of the coil pack, see if my coils are firing. Coil's firing. The engine just felt weird when it turned over. You know what an engine sounds like when it's off on compression. I went ahead and compression tested it. That hole had 0 psi. The piston had cracked in half and wedged sideways. I ended up pulling the head off of it to investigate the hole. The bore scope gave me some really weird pictures in there. I could see part of a piston. But yeah, I pulled the head off, and the piston had broken and wedged sideways in there, and it snapped the connecting rod off at the crankshaft. And the customer was very, very unhappy to figure out that a O2 sensor wasn't going to fix it. It needed an engine. That sat outside the shop for like 6 months.
Hopefully she saved the receipt for the O2 sensor.
I actually had a customer once that installed O2 sensors incorrectly. On Chevy Express vans, the downstreams and the upstreams are different. The 2 wires flipped for the heater circuit and the output circuit on them. And if you install those incorrectly, you pop the inside of the PCM. The van needs a PCM. That happened there too. I saw a customer do that and bring it into us to figure out afterwards.
Again, I'm only reading questions that are all capital letters, so post your questions in capital letters. If you've typed a question and I skipped it, if it's because it was not in capital letters, please type it again in capital letters. This guy says I need better heat in our buses. It's just
we don't like going places that are cold.
Yeah, I did not design my builds to be operated in temperatures like this. It was never on my radar. I was going to be down south, but this thing's just got a little screwed up, and we're here.
It happens. No, somehow nothing ever goes as planned. You know, you just can't do anything about it.
This guy says, back in '79, while working at a truck stop, Detroits were everywhere. I remember 318s, the 430 single turbo, 440 twin turbos. Is that right? Thanks. Enjoy the channel. I don't know what their turbo horsepower numbers are. I just call them 8V71TA, or if that's what they are.
TT if it's twin.
Yeah. They can be all kinds. The horsepower settings are all over the place, especially when you start screwing with them. You can really get them up there.
I mean, just let one of us loose with some injection timing changes or some different injectors, and it's all over the place.
I forgot what that boat was. 470 horsepower. That was just on a 671, inline 671, because it was in the boat.
Pulling tractor.
Did you get your airbag fixes? No.
No, but we just talked to Chris. I think Friday we're going to go to the shop and see about working on it.
Yep. Thank you. You're great. Tyler, can you expand on your interest in naturally aspirated specifically as opposed to turbo, after-cooled, and other stuff like that? Hot rodding Detroits in general.
I've always been weird when it comes to making power. If you guys seen my white truck, it's a 4.7 liter Dodge. That's a 287 V8. Not a lot of people make parts for those, but I've done just about everything you can to make power on those. I've always been weird. I mean, I could have thrown a turbo on the truck and made more power for pennies on the dollar of what I've spent on it, but I like to be different when I build stuff. So, you know, the easy answer would be to put a turbo on it and make more power, but I want to try to make as much power as I can without doing that. You know, why not? I don't like doing the same thing that everyone else does on a build. So, I mean, Dad's bus already has, 4-valve head, the big port liners, and 70 injectors, some very fancy set and timing on it, propane injection, and all those things I plan on doing. There's also some other stuff that I have ideas about trying to do to it, and I'm just going to see what I can do. If anyone has a dyno, I'd love to be able to dyno 2 buses next to each other to see which one of us can make more power. That'd be fun.
This guy said, hi, any 4x4 buses?
Yes. Quigley does 4-wheel drive van conversions. There are like schoolies that are 4-wheel drive converted from Quigley. Anything Quigley is actually pretty awesome if you look at it. GM also used to have a really weird V drive transfer case that had two outputs going at angles to differentials mounted, one on each side, to like the steering knuckles. There are some pictures of those online. They're really, really, really weird, really rare, but I've seen them done on a bus before.
This guy says, can you pee outside in that cold weather?
Yeah.
Watch out for shrinkage. Might get your shoes. Is there a simple way to tell if an 8V71 is set to A timing?
Well, I'd start by, if you have the injector gauge like we do that measures the height, measure them across the board and see if they're closer to the advanced timing setting.
Which would be 1.484.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's usually where we start. We kind of ballpark a couple of them and see where they fall. It also depends on what it's in. If it's in a truck or anything like that, they're usually always advanced timing. If it's in a bus and it's ever been rebuilt, usually if they have it apart enough to do
out
it,
of frame, not an in frame. For the in frame, they're not going to do that.
But if it's an out of frame, they usually just go ahead and advance the timing. There's no reason not to while you're there.
What brand tire do you recommend?
For buses, like heavy trucks, cars, what? Personally, I'm not a Michelin fan. I try to stay away from Michelin altogether. But that's just because I live in Indianapolis and Michelin kind of screwed over Formula One here for us.
That was a terrible, terrible race.
It's ruined Michelin's for me forever.
Yeah.
I won't buy.
You want to go watch a Formula One race and then nobody runs because they don't the tire that Michelin shot was crap.
Yeah, so if you're from Indianapolis, we don't like Michelin here very much. But really, I'm not picky on tires. I've always ran Goodyear stuff on most of my stuff, but whatever's a good deal. I mean, shop around and see. There are tons of people that post reviews of what they've got out there.
This person said, will you remove the propane injection once you go with the turbo?
Why?
Yeah, you can add more propane then.
Yeah, even more.
What's wrong with you?
Key to setting up propane. Set up till it pings and then back it off a quarter turn on the regulator.
I don't have mine set that much, but it makes a big difference. Performance is greatly improved with the turbo versus naturally aspirated with propane. Hi, Tyler. What diesel engines do you work on? Love your channel. Keep up the great work. Thanks, Doug.
All right. So I work on anything and everything. There are things that I don't care to work on. Mac, some Volvo stuff, but I work on everything. It doesn't really matter to me. Professionally, my longest run at a place, I was a Ford diesel technician. So the power strokes and international based stuff, I know decently well. I've done quite a bit of work on some of the Cummins stuff like the ISB and the trucks. Obviously, I work on the two-stroke Detroits. It doesn't matter to me. I work on everything. I mean, you guys can see on my channel, you'll see everything from me fixing a BMW to a case tractor.
Would replacing a factory Caterpillar muffler with a resonator improve mileage and performance?
It should. It definitely should. Factory mufflers are very, very restrictive usually. They don't care about squeezing every bit of power or performance out of it. They're looking for noise restrictions in places and stuff like that. People want quiet, smooth running equipment. That's what sells equipment.
This person said, put a paper on the wall that says questions in all caps so you don't have to keep saying it. Yes.
That would require a little more forethought than we have.
Maybe we'll get a shirt. Question for Tyler on the new intercity buses. Which engines do you like, the 60s or cats?
Well, if you're talking about new stuff, the 60 series isn't even used anymore. But I'm a little partial to Detroits. If you haven't noticed, I have a Detroit tattoo. Obviously, I pick a Detroit over anything else. But I mean, they're all not that bad. You know, it all comes down to what you work on the most. I mean, there could be somebody arguing the same thing for cat if they work on cat all day. The only thing I don't like is really, really new stuff with diesel emissions. It ruins the engines, in my opinion. But that's another argument for another day.
What's your favorite bus?
Cena Cruiser. I love Cena Cruisers.
Tyler, being a mobile mechanic, how far will you travel for a job?
As far as someone's willing to pay me, anywhere in the U.S. Going outside of the country gets me into some weird situations where I don't want to deal with paperwork. But anywhere in the U.S., I'll go. I have a destination charge that's based off mileage. Same as most other technicians. If there are multiple people in an area wanting it, we can break the destination charge up like Dad does between customers. If you guys are in a warm area, I might give you a discount this time of year.
Have you ever seen an A3208 pusher in a charter bus?
Huh?
I don't know what that is. A3208 pusher?
Oh, a 3208 cat.
Oh.
I've never seen one in the back. I've seen them in, well, I thought Water Lodges had them, but I think they're
in
the
the
front engine ones.
Yeah.
The replacement for the gassers. Which I don't even know what's up that bus. I haven't been over to the east side of town to see if that's still there yet.
This guy says electric buses are replacing the buses there, but yeah, when we're at
I am really big into electric drive technology and hybrid drive technologies. I love stuff like that. It's awesome. I tried to ask a bunch of technical questions at BusCon to some of the providers there, and unfortunately, they're just sales reps. They can't answer any of my technical questions.
Mom must be, no, maybe not. Do you ever find a good answer for a better manual trans for an NV3500 behind your 4.7?
Oh, that's Dalen. Well, yes, I am looking for a wrecked SRT 10 Ram. I can find a two-door with an SRT. That is a T56 and a 500 horse V10. That is the end goal, to swap that into my white truck. But for right now, I haven't killed a new venture in over a year and a half, but I haven't really been driving the truck. Actually, like a year ago, I rebuilt that transmission on my tailgate in an afternoon because I blew third gear out of it. The synchros were destroyed in it. But I think I've killed like, 5 or 6 transmissions in the 8 or almost 10 years I've owned that truck.
What type of fuel is common in buses around the world?
You're talking about diesel?
Yeah, they must all be diesel.
Well, not by me, but my house, Indianapolis public schools have all gassers because they can't afford the initial operating or the initial purchase cost of a diesel.
Yeah, but then they lose it over the lifetime of the bus. That's crazy.
I never said Indianapolis public schools were smart. I just said they have a lot of gassers and they're really loud going by my house.
The Indiana State Police release a list of all the school buses that fail their annual inspections every year, and all the school districts and stuff like that. And some of the school districts have like 60% of their buses fail the DOT inspection. Some of them more, even I think one of my saw was 80% one year.
Are you surprised?
Yeah, I am surprised by that.
I'm really not.
Well, it's only kids running around in the buses, but yeah.
I've worked for fleet places before. I'm not surprised at all.
This guy said he was at that Indy that day and left after the first lap, 6 cars in the second lap. Yeah, that race.
Yeah, I didn't go, and I'm honestly glad I didn't spend the money on a ticket.
But we had friends that came in, were staying with us all week. They
from Florida, out of town. Yeah, they were not happy.
There was a lot of people that came from all over the world to come to that race.
Yeah, it was pretty much just a Ferrari practice session.
This person's, are you a race fan?
Oh yeah, we live in Indianapolis. Obviously, we're race fans.
Open wheel, IndyCar, Formula One.
I like off-road stuff.
You're not really a NASCAR fan, are you?
I've been getting into it more and more, but honestly, I'm not a fan of the current NASCAR stage racing rules and all that stuff. The old school NASCAR stuff's cool to me. If we can go back to some of that, I'd be definitely interested.
He got me watching some old school NASCAR podcast stuff that was pretty cool too.
Yeah, slap shoes and stuff like that. It's awesome.
Can you convert a scenic cruiser to one of those car hauler buses?
You can.
I
just saw that one in person a few weeks ago. If I got one though, honestly, I'd feel terrible cutting that up. My plan, and one of the reasons I want a scenic cruiser, is those tall luggage bays. My Harley fits in. So when I'm on the road, I can park my motorcycle inside my bay. Which would be really nice.
Having no Jake, how long will the brake pads last?
How much do you use the brakes? Do you engine brake? Do you drive it in the city, or are you on the highway? There's a lot of things that will affect that.
I go thousands, I'll go hundreds of miles without ever even tapping on the brake, typically.
Yeah. Well, we've never replaced the brakes on your bus since you purchased it, have we?
That's correct. If you go turbo, do you have to remove the blower?
No, you can't. It has to be there regardless. If you're going to push a lot of boost, though, you need a bypass blower.
Does the 8V53 turn more RPM?
I don't know. Does it?
No.
Okay. That answers that question.
Do you plan on coming to New England? I will be at some point, but not for a while.
I just go wherever people tell me they need work done.
What's the difference between a 6V 671, 8V71, and 90 series?
Well, a 6V71 is 6 cylinders in a V configuration of a 71 series. An 8V71 is a V8 configuration of a 71 series. And the 92 series is not completely different. It's still a 2-stroke GM, but it's a wet liner, larger displacement motor. Just a different series. You're just upping the size.
So 71 stands for
71 cubic inches per cylinder.
Yeah, and
92 is 92 per cylinder. 53 is 53, and I don't think the 51 series is actually 51 per. I think
I've never even seen any of those.
That's the pure valveless 2-stroke.
Yeah, I know they're out there.
They're really rare. I'd love to get my hands on one.
Do you hunt ducks?
No, but I wouldn't say I was opposed to it. If someone wants to take me with.
The vegan next to him does not hunt ducks. Well, I used to play the shit out of Duck Hunt on Nintendo when that came out a long time ago.
I do a lot of speed shooting, so I enjoy going out and doing that. So yeah, because I wouldn't be opposed to going.
Is anyone replacing those early stoplight and turn signal lenses on a 3D printer?
You might have that answer shortly. Possibly.
Yes. Yeah, there's some guys, some friends that I know that are reproducing all the Silverside stuff. So we'll have some more information about how to contact them, rubber molding lenses, all that kind of stuff. I got an email from them last night, and they're going to get me a mirror stop lamp for my bus since they know I've been looking for one of those. Yeah, that guy said he plays Duck Hunt on Nintendo too. Does increasing the blower speed make more power on a Detroit diesel?
It should, in theory, it should. The faster you spin the blower, the more air it's pushing, the more fuel you can give it, the more power it will make.
Are you going to put 2 paddle tires on your 4-wheeler?
Depending on where I take it, maybe. Right now, the tires that are on it, they're awesome. Maybe they grip. When I was riding in my backyard the other day, my yard's covered in leaves, and there was snow on top of it. Coming out of the turn, mid-second gear, right at the beginning of the power band, nailing the throttle, even on the snow, it was wheeling. So, I mean, at this point, I have no reason to change them.
What would a Silverside's turn in a quarter mile?
We want to find out. But less than 60 miles an hour, and I'm guessing north of 40 seconds. But if anyone wants to list down their drag strip, we'd love to find out.
My 0 to 60 speed is about 40 seconds in the bus. If I dumped a bunch of weight out of there, I bet I'm closer to 30 seconds. But I got many thousands of pounds of tools and water and fuel and all that kind of stuff. So
you know what we should do? We should race your bus versus like my motorcycle, but I can only use first gear.
Let's try reverse.
I don't have reverse on my motorcycle. But yeah, no, I think my first on the rev limit on my bike's like 35 or something like that.
That would actually be kind of fun then, because
I'd hit 35 really quick.
Yeah, but I'm
And
not
I'd be
going to
stuck.
get much up. But I don't think so. I think I would still lose.
I think that'd be a fun race. It'd be really loud too.
The military versions of the AV-53 were set factory at 2,800 RPMs, commonly used in tracked vehicles.
That's pretty high.
Yeah, well, a lot of the military stuff usually has a little bit higher setting.
To be fair, they can just throw money every place when they need to. So
this person's asking, why are you a vegan? That's for me, not for you.
Yeah, I'm not.
Just, I'm not really going to answer that.
It's been answered before.
Yeah. Apart from helping the 2-stroke start, does the blower help after starting?
Yeah, it needs it completely all across the board. It won't run without it.
That's how it breathes in and out.
Yeah. When the 2-stroke cycle on that, there's no way for it to pull air. It has to have air pushed into the cylinders. That's how it evacuates the exhaust and gets fresh air in there.
Tyler, thanks for you guys sharing information without acting like it's a big secret.
Everything's a secret.
Well, that's not really a question. Sorry. It was all caps. It threw me off. You ever watch Cletus McFarland?
Oh, I'm a huge Cletus McFarland fan. There's quite a few of his t-shirts hanging in my closet.
You've been in some of my videos wearing his t-shirts too.
Yeah, people have pointed it out. I actually just got the Code Red Ruby t-shirt in the mail the other day.
Would propane benefit a turbocharged 8V92?
Yeah, propane would benefit any engine.
Okay, just one quick thing to throw out there. If it has an aftercooler, intercooler, you got to watch it. You got to know what your EGTs are, because you can have a pre-detonation, because the gases and the cylinder temperatures are so hot, it could actually ignite the propane before the diesel fuel ignites the propane. So you can ruin the bottom end on a 92 on anything if the cylinder temperatures are too hot. So that use a word of caution with that.
Less propane.
Yeah. Scott said what his rates are. What are yours, Tyler?
Depends on what I'm doing. So if I do bus work, I charge his labor rates. When I'm doing other stuff, it's higher. Heavy equipment, truck, that stuff, I'm usually around $120 an hour mobile. At least that's what my book rates are. That's what it says. But I'm always willing to work a deal with somebody depending on the job and what's going on, how much work we have to do. I have to have something on paper, and that's usually what I put it at.
This person's saying, do we ever determine how the air is getting into the fuel system of that Minnesota bus? And we know it's coming from, some of it's coming through the intake tube, we know. So either the pickup tube or somewhere the line between there. And then after that, no, we hadn't, because we are still getting massive air. So don't know. Fuel filter setups would be the next thing to get rid of on there.
New housings for it?
Yeah. Yep.
You go to spin-on filters then?
Yeah.
Or a Davco?
I think I'm pretty much so caught up on questions here. Unless I've skipped somebody's questions, I really didn't mean to.
More questions there, guys. Come on. Oh,
Yeah.
God.
And make sure they're all in capitals, because that's all I'm looking for is questions in capitals. So if you asked a question and it wasn't in capitals and I skipped it, I apologize.
If you guys missed it, tomorrow we're going to teach Dad how to ride a four-wheeler.
Excuse me, I know how to ride a four-wheeler.
We're going to teach him how to ride it the right way.
I grew up with my buddy down the street had three-wheelers, so I used to ride those, and those were much more fun.
I can't trust myself to buy one of those.
Can you sum up your channel for me? I'm new.
It's everything I work on. And then some of my own projects.
And drinking.
I don't drink on my channel that much. It's only
sorry.
live streams. I work on everything. I had a video a couple months ago doing an oil pan on an all-wheel drive BMW. I've had service calls out on case tractors. I work on semis, dump trucks, stationary power equipment. I've worked on forklifts. Pretty much everything. Right now, my newest project I bought is a Yamaha Blaster, two-stroke four-wheeler build.
He worked as a mechanic at a shop since he was in high school.
Since I was 16 years old, I've worked in a shop.
And then you worked at Ford for a while, Chevy for a while.
Yep.
You worked for a semi TMC or whatever.
Yeah, I worked for a trucking company for a while. I worked for a construction company for a while and worked on their equipment and did construction work there. Useless information. I can run sewage treatment facilities. I can run freshwater well systems. And I was licensed to set double wide trailers for a while. The place was a very interesting place to work.
Uh-oh. Did I skip some stuff here? I don't know.
Oh, we got a super chat from William Oswald. I have a 4.3. Got the 5.7. 5.7s last forever if you treat them right, but so do 4.3s. I had a live stream the other night where I showed a rod bearing that came out of my last mud truck, which was a 4.3 5-speed four-wheel drive S10. I laid the two halves of the number 6 rod bearing over each other, and it still ran. It still drove. That engine had 345,000 miles on it, and I hit valve float probably once a day driving it. It's pretty slow, so you had to begin the throttle, and you'll hit valve floats where you shift. I had a truck airborne. I've jumped it quite a few times. Those 4.3s were tanks, and 5.7s are the same as a 4.3. You're just missing 2 cylinders.
Worst car to fix?
Worst one I've ever worked on, Porsche Boxer. They really suck to do timing belts on. Oh, chain. No, it was a belt. That was in high school. It was terrible. I don't like working on mid-engine stuff. It's really hard to get to.
What would your dream bus and powertrain? What would be your dream bus and powertrain? So, Scenic Cruiser, I think you've already said.
Yeah, it'd be a Scenic Cruiser. It would definitely be 2-stroke Detroit powered. I don't think I'd probably swap the 8071 out of it. I'd probably make as much power as I could with that. But I'm weird and I'd put a different transmission.
Well, that you can
18-speed Eaton.
Yeah, you can do that. That's easy.
You don't need all that much power if you have that many gears to choose from. Or we could have like a twin stick or a triple stick in there too.
Where do you find these old buses for sale?
We've mentioned that a lot of times in videos. There's a bunch of different groups on Facebook where you can find them.
Craig's Bus Sales is a good one.
Yeah.
Can I get a hug? I don't know. Bob's your uncle.
Probably not.
Will the DAFCO filter work for my 3406E cat?
Yeah, you can set them up on anything.
Is there any states to avoid due to emissions law?
Privately owned stuff, you're good. Commercial, completely different story. As long as it's a privately owned vehicle and you're operating it for yourself, not for profit, you should be good just about anywhere. Don't get caught. It's the best option.
What is better, timing chain or belt?
I saw someone say thanks, Sinister. I don't know if you can say their name without them trying to sue you. Do you remember that when they went after everyone who was painting their parts blue?
Oh.
It's a great couple weeks.
So what's better, a timing chain or a belt?
Chain. Chains are always going to last longer, more reliable. There's pictures of my Instagram actually of a 4.7. I did timing chains on for a buddy of mine that I think there was over an inch of slop with the tension wrench all the way out. And it still ran just fine. And a belt in that type of condition would have broke by then.
This person's asking, how many pounds per minimum can you push on a 671 stock bottom end with turbo? There's no upgrade options for the bottom end on it, but there is a lower compression piston on it, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, if you're going to push a lot of boost, you want to decompress the bottom end, but I don't know what the number of how much boost you can put in there and find is. Dad has said if we can get 500,000 subscribers on Bus Grease Monkey, that I can build a Bus Grease Monkey pulling tractor, and my R&D department will put rods into the lower thorn until we find out the limits.
Are you seeing a 4104 fan hub problems a lot? This person bought my last one, so I sold that to him. Yeah, that's always been a common problem, that rubber kind of delaminates on the hub and the fan comes off and goes through the you already read that one. Sorry. Yes. It goes through the radiator on that. So if you got a 4104, you got to wiggle that fan every once in a while and make sure it's not getting loose on there.
It really sucks to solder all the core shut in a rest stop and then add water to get home. It was a long night.
Were you born with tools in your hand?
Pretty much.
Practically. They're his favorite toys when he was little. Tools. Kelly's probably standing upstairs right now hearing that.
There's actually a video on my channel of like my toolbox tour and stuff in my home. That's not even all my tools. I have more money in tools than anything else I own.
Look at the 53 series, Tyler, if you want to go fast.
I always want to go fast.
The live stream has froze on my iPad, so hopefully it's not doing that for everyone.
It's moving.
Oh, it was froze.
You just have to shake it.
I have an Etch-a-Sketch here on the iPad.
That explains a lot right now, actually.
Would you recommend the MT39 gear reduction starter? And as your mechanic, I definitely recommend that because when I got to install it, it weighs a lot less than the other one. What's the story on that Wander bus you're going to be working on? So a Wander Lodge.
The one we're doing in North Carolina?
Yeah.
It's got an 8V92 that's a part that we are going to a full in-frame on. So
yeah, the turbo was bad in it, rust in the cylinders, all kinds of, it was.
But yeah, you guys get to look forward to another father-son Bus Grease Monkey engine rebuild video. At least it's not a swap 71 again.
Are you looking for a local company for vinyl to be made and you install it? Yeah, I was looking for somebody anywhere to do it. Send it to me and I'll install it on the sign.
We've done vinyl before. Dad used to have a vehicle for his business that we'd rewrap every year or so.
Yeah, we used to do a vehicle wrap on my Hummer every year. Crystal ball future, you guys, land, south buildings, or businesses. I really like traveling, but yeah, we're gonna get a place in southern Tennessee is what we're really looking at doing.
Yeah, I want to have a shop to be able to work out of that I can work on buses. I still want to be able to do some mobile work and travel. I love doing engine and transmission. That's what I love. I love building engines and I love building transmissions. So if I had a shop where people could just drop stuff off to me and let me do builds all day, I don't think it gets any better than that.
Somebody sent me he said, sent the monkey a copy of old VHS on GM buses. Did you see it? Yeah, I did see that. Some history on that.
Do you have something to play a VHS? Because I don't.
No, he just sent me a link. It's recorded on YouTube.
Okay.
We can do an over-the-road AC system. I won't, but there's other people that have them on their buses, obviously.
We have limited base space with the amount of tools and stuff, so we might as well just run the generator and use the rooftops.
Yeah, rooftop for me is the answer, because if I had air conditioning down in the bays, I would lose storage space that I need desperately. a lot of things I can put on my roof to carry around and get to them easy, but the air conditioners hiding up on the roof are pretty good. But I'll never get to use my bus in any kind of movie work or anything like that because it's got rooftop air. So if you want to try to rent your bus out for movies and things like that, you got to really keep
They
that.
can edit that out.
Exterior. They probably could, but they're not willing to do that.
I don't want other people borrowing my bus anyway.
Sorry, somebody typed in all caps. That wasn't a question. Can you tell if a head is 2-valve or 4-valve without pulling the valve cover?
Well, if it's got external fuel rails, it's definitely a 2-valve.
That is incorrect.
They made external.
Oh, sorry.
valves?
Sorry, you are correct. I thought you were saying it has internal fuel rails.
No, if it's external fuel rails, it is definitely a 2-valve head.
That is true.
Other than that, no. I don't know a way to tell them from the outside.
Um,
But the valve covers are easy to take off. Half the time, you don't even need tools. I just saw a comment there. Someone asked me what would be the best diesel pickup truck to purchase. I'm going to start this out with, I was a Ford tech for years. I am not a Ford fan. I learned, do not work at a manufacturer that you enjoy their stuff. You learn to hate them because I worked at Chevy for a while and I used to be a so much Chevy fan. I am a big Dodge person. So I love Dodge Rams, Cummins power trucks. They were the last one that you could get a manual transmission with. All my trucks except one are manuals. I do like those. But if I wasn't going to pick a Dodge, I would pick a Ford. A heavy-duty truck, in my opinion, should have a solid front axle. I do not like IFS and the GMs. And I am also not a fan of the Duramax engines. I don't like working on them all that much. But 6.7 Power Stroke's not a bad engine. The Cummins isn't a bad engine. I guess the Duramax isn't a bad engine. I just don't care for them. But I would go with the Dodge first, and if that wasn't available, I'd go with the Ford. You know, to me, a heavy-duty truck should have a solid front axle in it.
what was your favorite toy as a kid?
Tools.
Popo Gijo.
Knock you off the stool. Knock you off the stool. Oh, hey. Someone said to give Dad a hug. We got $5 super chat to give you a hug.
Okay. Popo Gijo and Juan were two marionettes that were at his grandmother's house.
We're gonna keep going with this, aren't we?
I was just explaining they were.
Mom. I have water. Sorry, I ran out of water.
What rust prevention do you use for salted roads?
I just don't drive my rust-free vehicles in the winter.
Yeah, I try not to. That was my plan.
Everything I have is undercoated.
What's your take on Western Fire? Do you ever work on or see any? I've not actually worked on a Western Fire.
I don't think I have.
What was the Mac MV 620D one at stands? I don't know anything about those Macs. Whatever it said on that sign is what was in that thing.
I've never got to work on one of those either. I don't work on a lot of Mac stuff.
Is that the one that Kelly helped you take apart? I'm not sure what they're asking about there, but the Wander Lodge, the Bluebird? Yeah, that's what they're asking about. Yes. There's a company here in St. Louis that can do it and send it to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's companies all over that can do it. I just haven't had the time to find somebody to do it.
9mm or 45. I don't own any 9mm, but I have quite a few 45s. For 45. I also have 10mm. Those are fun.
Does Lenny have engine hot water heat up front? Yes, he does. Will it help if I upgrade my intake fuel line to a number 10 to my transfer pump on my Cat?
Yeah, the bigger you can make that line, the more fuel you have the potential to flow, if you need the flow to the engine, that is. If not, I mean, there's a point where you can go just big enough of the line that it's not going to matter. You're not going to be able to flow any, or you're not going to get any gain from flowing it. But you need to know how much fuel your pump can flow and what the injectors can flow wide open, and you want to make sure that the fuel system is sized large enough that you can support that.
So I shouldn't bother fixing an over-the-road system. If it's in a vintage coach, I would not worry about fixing the over-the-road air conditioning.
It's going to be cheaper to put a different air system in it than it is to fix those most of the time.
And most of those are the old school Freon stuff that you're going to have a hard time getting anyways, and that kind of thing.
Your dog's asking if she can let the dogs out.
Yeah, she can let the dogs out.
You guys might see some interruption here from St. Bernard's.
Where are you headed next?
Belpre, Ohio, Monday.
Yeah, finished up Sage, then we're going to Lance, and then we're going out to Albemarle, North Carolina.
Can we get a YouTube or a Google pronunciation on that? Is there a local here that can give us phonetics?
Duramax is scrap iron. That's not really a question, it's just capital. Sorry.
No, but I agree with their statement.
How available are silver size parts to find?
If you people there,
They're very easy. Yeah. They made a lot of them. There's a lot of them out there. There's a lot of parts buses. A lot of them got sacrificed for parts. A lot of them got scrapped too because they're aluminum. Aluminum prices were really high. That sucks, but they're out there. Do you prefer phaser gears or timing chain?
are you like talking about fixed timing gears versus phasers? If they work, why would you not want cam phasers? You have variable cam timing. You can make a lot more power that way. I've done a lot of work forward, so like 5.4, 3 valves. I've done quite a few of those. I've also had ones where you have scored cam journals on the front of the heads where you can't get oil supply to the phaser, so you do a cam phaser delete kit to it, and that will get you by for a while. And at that point, it needs an engine anyway, but that'll limp you usually through for a year or two.
How many miles do you drive, Lenny, a year? We'll probably hit a little over 30,000 miles this year. I don't know. Come to Boston. That's not really a question.
No, but I'm opposed. I always want to do St. Patrick's Day in Boston.
Tyler, do you have a bus?
Not yet.
Not yet. We're gonna look at one.
I think you're caught up on questions pretty much.
Yeah, we looked at a couple of them before, but just haven't had the right one. I've got a riding mower y'all would love, a Kubota G1800 with 3-cylinder diesel.
I would like one of those, to be honest.
Dixie choppers are really cool too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep, I think I'm caught up on questions. If I skipped your question, I didn't mean to. Especially if it was all in capital letters.
Yeah, but feel free to post more questions. We still got some time left on the stream.
Yeah, we got about 10 more minutes. He said he had a Dixie chopper. It's too heavy for those hills. So if you didn't watch earlier, yeah, when we're going to finish Sage's bus, Tyler's going to ride with me and Kelly in our bus out there, and then they're going to come back in the. Tyler's going to follow Sage.
Yeah.
Sage is going to drive the bus, and Tyler's going to follow him in his car. And then we're going to Nashville area. We'll be in Franklin, Tennessee together working on land. Oh, hey, Clyde. What's up?
No, don't bring him over here. There's way too much stuff in the way. He's not that coordinated. Don't do it.
Oh, he's almost here. He's like, what do I do? What do I do? Here, Clyde.
Don't tell him to come here. The tripod's in the way.
It's okay. Come here.
Oh. Okay, well, that kind of worked.
Can we get him? We get Clyde. Here's Clyde. Oh, shoot. My bad.
Clyde. All right, well, that was Dad's fault. He decided to hit the power button on my phone.
Oh, Clyde. Oh, he's like, what am I doing?
Hey, Clyde.
Okay, sorry. Back to the.
Let's not grab the phone by the phone. Let's grab the.
Sorry.
It's like you're a professional photographer once.
My bad. Your phone is totally different than my phone, by the way. I even ended the live stream or the thing on here too.
Oh, it'll take a second to get back to.
How old are you, Tyler? Yes. When did I be in this? I don't know.
I was there like 2 years ago.
I was through there twice. I was through this year. We were out there working in.
They stored for a company that was based out of there, so I had to get sent out there occasionally.
Yeah, I forgot. St. Charles. Is that the last place we were at? But we were like 4 different places in Missouri there. In Lenny, I see the GPS on the reverse camera. The third screen in the lower window is TPMS. Yes, that's correct. It's a tire pressure monitor system.
New GPS is here too for the bus. We have a new one.
Yes, my new GPS is here that I got from Garmin. It's awesome. Beard oil? Question mark.
Yeah, but I don't remember what it is.
Scott, did you get an email to pass on to Phil? I don't know. I get so many emails, so you should maybe get a hold of Phil. He's got his own channel, Bus Old Man Phil. You can get a hold of him, get his email address, and send him whatever you need to. I definitely don't want to be the middleman. Any antique bus clubs?
Plus Grease Monkey Forum.
Yeah. And I go to some rallies and stuff, and I've been a member of in the past some converted coach groups, Great Lakes converted coaches. They have rallies every year. They have a really cool rally that they do. Could be converted coach owners. I think it's Great Lakes though. They do a salvage rally where we do up in northern Indiana, and there's a whole bunch of RV salvage places up there, and we all kind of hang out and go to the places every day. I guess a cool dog. Yeah, we have 3 St. Bernards here at the house that are my daughters. That was the puppy. That was Clyde. I don't even think he's a year yet.
No.
Yeah, he's almost a year. He's huge. He's like 4 inches taller than our other St. Bernards. Do you use 15W40 or 30?
Straight 40-weight CF2 rated oil and all 2 strokes.
Yeah.
It is not a multi-weight oil. CF2s are always straight rates.
Why is Lenny's front glass windows different colors? Because the right window has been replaced and they don't make the exact same tint that they used to make 50 years ago.
Also, that window is a pain to put in.
It is a pain. I have a new windshield for the other side.
We had both of them at the same time. We just never bothered doing the second one.
Yeah, it doesn't have any cracks in it, so it's staying on there.
To be fair, the new one got a crack the first time you
The
drove it.
very first day I put the new windshield in, a rock chip hit it and broke. Put a chip in it. I was so mad. Oh, I assume you bought the injector tube kit I messaged you about? Yes, I did. Thank you, Bruce. What do you think of Jeeps?
I love Jeeps. My license plate for a while was Jeep Life on the back of my lifted Grand Cherokee. Hangs on the wall in my room. I want to get another one. I was going to buy another one, but then I bought my 4-wheeler because I remembered that I had to, plate and insure and all that, another Jeep, and that sounded like more money, but I love Jeeps. I'm always in the market for another one.
Driving without the clutch, is it bad for the trans?
If you do it right, no. If you do it wrong, yes.
Have you decided when you're coming to Southern California? I'll be there after Christmas this year. I don't know. We'll start the trip right after Christmas, and we're going like New Orleans, Texas, all those bunch of places out that way. So, this is from Jungle. It's not in caps, but I'll read it anyways. He posts a lot. Tyler, if you had any experience with the 6CT Cummins, basically an 8.3 liter P-plumbed 12 valve. I got a bus with one and an MD 3060 Allison. We both need rebuilt soon.
I've never worked on one, but for the most part with the Cummins stuff, everything's the same. It just gets bigger. I'd have no problem working on one. I have access to all the service information and forum. I've done like the B series. I've done work on X's and stuff like that. So it's not a big jump between them. Most of their stuff is, like I said, pretty much the same. It just upsizes as the motor goes up.
Have you ever thought about hosting a bus school and workshop rally?
Yes.
Yeah.
Love to.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
We got a roll out a bunch of buses that can be worked on. That's kind of the big problem. Most campgrounds aren't happy when they tell it. You can tell them a bunch of people are going to tear their buses apart. If anyone has property though, they would like to, donate to that.
That would be really fun to do.
It'd be a lot of fun. I've been trying to we need to do a bus Grease Monkey rally at some point, have a big meetup.
Which we have done the bus Grease Monkey rally in the past.
Yeah, but we need to do it again.
Are both of you going to Oregon? Right now, and neither one of us have plans to go to Oregon, but I'll probably make it out there again next year. It's kind of my yearly thing, but
I'm down for whatever. I'm not picky.
Dylan said, is that the St. Bernard that I met when I was up there for the Steel Woods concert?
Yeah. I believe so. He was a tiny puppy then, probably.
Are you a fan of taking the twin turbos off of a C15 cat?
I'm assuming you're talking about an Acer one. A big single would have less responsiveness, but you can make more power with it. But depending on how much power you make, I've seen people make a lot of power with the compounds on them.
What do you think of the VW diesel?
I love them. I used to have a friend who had a Rabbit pickup truck. 1320 Video did a video on him. It had a stack. It was really cool. I've always liked them.
I'm a big fan of push bars like those on cop cars. Do you think they are important?
Depending on how you mount them, yes. As long as they're mounted correctly, they are nice to have, especially if you live like where I live, but there are a lot of people that don't know how to drive.
Why don't you get a diesel heater to replace the propane heater? Because I already have a perfectly good working propane heater and it's not really that inconvenient. And diesel heaters, other than there's some cheap knockoff version stuff that's available, but they're pretty expensive. And I already have one that works. So if you want to send me one, I'll be happy to put it in. How is Lenny's gear shift linkage linked to the gearbox?
It's mechanical.
It's mechanical the whole way. It's push rods. Or rigid rods. It's not cables or anything.
Yeah.
Can a Spicer 4-speed fail from grinding gears?
Yes. Yes.
Is that Taylor?
You can grind them down to no gear left.
Taylor's transmission needs to see the dentist. Coming out to Utah, I don't know. I've got so many people on my list, I have no idea. Do you ever come to Canada for bus work? If that's for me or you, the work visas and all that stuff would be a pain in the butt. So
It's so much easier if you can get the bus down to the U.S. for us to work on.
I mean, I'd love to go up there and visit some of our friends and stuff like that, but
The problem is, if you bring it down here to work on it, you're fine. You're not going to have anything. But if we go up there to do work, there's a lot of paperwork involved, and it's a huge hassle for us. And the last thing I want to do is make a video or something and get caught and not be disclosing that stuff that can get you put in jail. So, yeah, if you want it done and you're in Canada, feel free to bring it to the U.S. We will gladly work on it still.
well, I hope I got to everyone's questions. I think I did.
I just saw someone said AK or AR. I have ARs. I don't have any AKs. I might build one at some point, but it's still far. That's not one I've built.
Oh, I missed that question. What's your favorite prank to play on the other one that is under the bus?
None, because I know retaliation's gonna suck. We can both get really creative with that stuff. And usually I'm the one under the bus. I always call dibs on not having to do it, and somehow I always end up being the one stuck under it.
Somebody's asking how that's held up, the cracked gusset that I had on Lenny that I stopped drilled and had welded up. It's perfect. I haven't had any more issues with it, and it's fine. Both sides are cracked, and they're good now. Would replacing a factory Caterpillar 330 horsepower muff with a resonator improve fuel mileage and performance? Didn't we have that earlier?
I believe we answered that. Yes, it would.
How do you know on a bus when it's gone too far gone to fix?
I mean, nothing is too far gone. We can fix pretty much anything. The biggest thing is how much money can be spent on it.
Yep.
The budget is always the limit on what we can fix.
Yeah, rust issues are really get expensive and hard. So if something,
But it doesn't mean we can't fix it.
that's correct. People will pull the skin off of an Eagle and redo every single box tube in there. I've seen it. Several of them I've worked on. They've been stripped down and done that too.
We've seen stuff that bulkheads have been ripped apart and the entire bulkheads have been rebuilt.
Yep.
It can be done. But what it comes down to is how much are you able to put into it? And how bad do you want to save it? And if it's something that's out of your realm of being able to afford or fix, there always is someone else who can do it too, or would be interested in doing it. You know, don't be quick to scrap anything because it's out of what you want to put into it. There might be somebody else out there who wants it.
Will a turbo on an 8V71 improve mileage?
If you keep your foot out of it. Yeah, it can. It should. If you keep it within a reasonable amount of power and keep your foot out of it, it will.
Yeah, most people when they're driving them, they're always getting black smoke, which is unburnt fuel, because there's not enough air in there to do it.
You want to tune right to the edge of that. You want to burn as efficiently as you can for stuff like that.
But if you have more power available to you, chances are you're going to use the power.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you're trying to like sell the story on your wife, like we're going to go to a turbo because I'm going to get better fuel mileage.
All right. Well, here's a explanation. My motorcycle is supposed to get 54 miles to the gallon, correct? The first tank of fuel I put in it after I put the new pipes on my bike, I got 31. So yeah, the way you drive is the biggest factor in anything on fuel economy.
That's great. I think we've been on an hour. Does it tell us how long it's been?
Yeah, we're an hour and 5, I think, up there.
Okay.
Someone asked, how do you not drive a Detroit wide open?
I don't know. That's all I do.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then if I want to go faster, I just turn up the governor. And if I want to go faster, I turn up the governor. If I want to go faster, I got bigger tires. And then I turn up the governor.
Someone asked if I have a bike. Yeah, I have a 2011 Harley Davidson 883 Iron. I've got videos on it on my channel. I have full bolt-ons right now, and I think depending on what my schedule looks like, I'd like to tear it apart and put cams in it soon.
Somewhere I have a video of you getting that Harley.
Yeah.
He was 17 years old. It was his birthday. And we took him down to the Harley dealership to get him like a Harley jacket and stuff like that. Just some like a jacket and some boots or something like that, just for his birthday or whatever. But really what he got was a Harley. They had it sitting there outside for him, and they're like, "Hey, you want to check this one out? We just got this 883 Iron in." And he didn't even want to sit on it. He's like, "No, I don't want to sit on it." And then finally he did. And the guy's like, "Well, you can sit on it because it's yours." He had no clue he was getting a Harley. That was cool. Why doesn't a 6V92 not have an emergency shutdown flap?
It should.
No, the 92s don't.
Yep.
No. Once they came up with the individual spring-loaded racks, Detroit just got rid of that because most of the runaways were caused by one injector would stick, all the injectors would stick, kind of thing. By the time they had that figured out, where they put those spring-loaded rack fingers on there, they don't really have runaways from that. You can still have a runaway from a turbo and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's still.
So I would still, for me, I always thought, why don't they have those? But they don't. Detroit never did that anymore.
I'd still try to figure out a way to put one on there. Why not have a method to stop any type of runaway?
How do you shift into reverse in Lenny?
You put it in first gear, you press the reverse button, and you pull it down to second while holding the button.
Follow that procedure precisely. Do not alter that anyway, or you will lock that transmission up and spend hours trying to get it to come out.
It's a real pain to get it out.
You just got a super chat for the swear jar there from William Oswald again.
You for the swear jar.
Oh, did I say something?
I don't know. Did I swear? I think I've been doing a really good job.
I don't think I said a swear word.
Probably did. I saw it on there just say the Emperor King. I want a street glide. If I was to get another bike, I'd get a street glide, but I wouldn't get rid of the one I have because I love mine. It's fun to ride.
Yeah, Michael has a 72 Honda CB 350F.
What is the CB that's got the 6 one? Is that a CBX or whatever? I would love to have one of those. Those things sound amazing. The awesome thing is you can have like 6 or 7 motorcycles, same space as one car in your garage.
All right, I think we're going to finish up here. So a couple of things. I don't know. Anything you want to talk about before we're done? I won't take any more questions, so don't type any more questions.
No, I mean, Monday we leave on our next trip. We've kind of covered that already.
Tomorrow I'm going to ride your four-wheeler.
Yeah, we're going to get a video tomorrow of him on the blaster. We've got a couple things to do the bus while we're in town the next couple of days. I am going to try.
New toolbox going in.
Yeah, I'm going to try to go over that MC9 before we leave town.
And we're going to fix my broken airbag mounts.
Yeah, we're going to do that Friday at Chris's. Other than that, I think that's all we've got going before we leave town.
I was really hoping to have that REI 360 camera system. I'm not sure when that's coming. That would be fun. That would be the good time to install that.
That would. We can always take it with us too if we get it.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, thank you so much for watching.
Yep. Thank you guys for joining in tonight.
If you haven't subscribed to Tyler's channel yet, please do.
Yeah, I would really appreciate it.
Sorry for that long intermission, but that was not our fault. That was YouTube.
Yeah, we were trying the entire time.
Neither one of us could log on and wouldn't let us do it. So,
all right. Well, we'll see you guys later.
Thank you.